Okay, so this is a generic t-34 SU-85 video where we're going to put on the track covers for both sides. And what we're going to need is a few like middle length pieces of tracing paper that you fold in half a long way to make like a bit of a V shape. And kind of once you've folded it, unfold it a little bit so it's not like right down, but it's lifted up a bit. And then set those aside. You're going to need those quite quickly once these are semi-installed. So we're just going to pre-fold these a little bit to make sure that they sit in position easily, and try to make sure these are nice and flat. Okay, and you want to make sure you have a left and a right. The next thing we want to do is take a blade and just make sure that if these hang down past the level of this side part, they're cut off. And it might even be just a good idea to flatten them so they meet rather than edge on, sort of have a flat on. And you definitely want them to be the same level as the side parts, because this needs to go on flat. So once you've made sure all of that is good, then we're just going to test fit these a little bit. What you should be seeing is it turning exactly where this edge turns at the front, and the back pretty much lining up to create a straight, flat plane with the back of the chassis. So once you see that you have those things in order, and this is fairly flattened, we're going to take a bead of glue and put it along this for an edge-on glue. We're also going to put a bead of glue along this flat to attach the edge of the track cover to. So 4:1 is acceptable. Also, full strength glue is acceptable. And we're just going to go slow here to make sure we get everything in the right place. So we're just going to put that layer of glue along here. Now I wouldn't try to carve this edge flat. It takes a long time, and also you don't want that changing levels at all. So just these ends would I recommend doing that too. And only to match them, really. So what I do to place it, because the quicker and faster you can get it in the right position, the better, is match the back and then set the rest in place, judging by the back. Oh, made an error. So not only do you want to put a bead of glue along here, which I of course did, but I forgot to put a bead of glue along here. And actually what I also neglected to mention was that you want to extend that bead out to there to glue that back flap, and out to here to glue that front flap. So now we're ready to place this in. Judge by the back. And it should go pretty much exactly into place. Now, one thing that often occurs and can look a little bit not nice is if the track cover is tilted. Often it'll tilt out like this, so it'll be like tilted weirdly. And so you want to make sure that you press the inside in as much as it'll go, so you don't get that effect at all, because that effect is not nice. So once you have that positioned, and this is clear of glue, so try to maintain, while we do the next part, that is clear of glue. Put a thin layer of glue along this edge, where you already have some glue from the initial gluing process. And we're going to take our V of tracing paper and just slide it along the track cover into position and glue it to this side. And then stick your bamboo skewer under here. Sort of lift it away if it has glued a little bit at that meeting point. And slip a little bit more glue under here. To complete the bond. And that just stabilizes and puts everything in place a little bit nicer. So you can concentrate better on making these flaps match. You should kind of try to take care of that stuff before. Okay, so the other side is exactly the same, but I will just show you the process one more time so you're familiar enough with it. Feel free to just go ahead and start, though. So, making sure this is flat, pre-bending these, bead of glue along here, after making sure these are flattened on the tips. And a bead of glue down to there to cover those wings or the ends of the track cover. And you can be generous here. Most of this is pretty hard to see anyways, so I wouldn't worry too much about using or getting your glue lumpy or using too much. You want to make these bonds strong because they're not based on many contact points. So keeping in mind to, as quickly as possible, try to push it into flat position so you don't have that weird horizontal off-kilter effect. It's one of the worst things that can happen at this point is to have these wings sort of out like that. And it's easy to have that happen, so just be aware of that as you go. And again, keeping the glue off of the track cover. Just putting the glue on the side of the chassis if you can. Laying this on the track cover. Slide it into position with your skewer. And use the skewer to lay the gluey side down. there will probably be a little bit of bonding toward right where the two parts meet. So peel it back off of there, just so you can get glue in effectively. And the reason that we use this method to set the patch in there is that if you put glue on both sides and try to like just drop the patch in, often it'll be going off into one direction or the other and partially glued, and it's just a big pain. So this is the best method I've found to get them seated nicely, and that will get you to the next step. Starting to look like a tank.